Hey, welcome to the Watch and Whisper channel. This is G Butterfly, and today we're going to talk about Married to Medicine. It's season 9, episode 6. I'm going to go through this really quick because, to be quite honest, I thought it was so boring. It was really boring. Both the last 2 episodes have been kind of boring. And you know me, I take my little notes, so I'm going to talk about it real quick. So when you see me looking down like that, you know I'm looking at my notes, but we're going to get through it and keep it moving. Alrighty, so I pick up where it left off last week, where all the ladies were at the table and they was getting ready to play Never Have I Ever. And the objective of the game is to say what you've never done, but really somebody at the table may have done. They'll say, never have I ever, and they'll just throw out something. Well, one of the things they threw out was sex on the beach. And it was so funny because Heavenly say, Toya, we know you have. So if you've actually done whatever they are saying, never have I ever, you take a drink or you eat something or whatever the rules are for that particular game at that moment. So when Toya took the drink, that's saying she had sex on the beach. Quad said, well, we know Toya may have had sex on the beach, but it wasn't with Eugene because Eugene does not like to display affection in public. Yeah, she might have had sex, but it wasn't with Eugene. I said, ooh, that was so messy. Ooh, that was messy, messy, messy. Jackie told all the ladies at the table once they finished eating, you know what? You don't have to go home, but you do have to get out of here. And they were like, you putting us out? And she was like, yeah, I'm putting y'all out. And so she told them that they had, I think, go home, not go home, but go to their room and get rested up and dressed because they were going to be going to dinner. Anybody else notice Jackie's little camo outfit was cute when she stood up? I said, oh, that's cute. I could wear that. Now all the ladies got together and they were walking down, looked like they were walking in some building. I guess they were on their way to dinner. But Heavenly had on a bad sequin not a jumpsuit, a pantsuit. It looked really, really good. Anila had on a very, very, very cute glittery short set, but it was a suit as well. And who else? Somebody else had on something that was real cute. Oh, Carrie had on a really cute pink glittery pair of pants, and I thought that was real cute. And did I say it was Anila that had on the cute short suit? Now, Contessa, your fashions was a little foul. I don't know what the silver tinfoil skirt deal you had on, but that wasn't cute. I ain't like that at all. So they all sat at a table and looked like they went to a restaurant called Fuho, Fuho, and I could be saying it wrong, but I guess it's called Fuho. Gonna have a nice dinner. Claude was late, but Claude is always late. But she made it there before they actually, I think, got the appetizer. So that was pretty good. Again, I told y'all this episode was so boring. Ooh, it was boring. Now, Simone tell the ladies that the next day she has a event planned for them and they're going to have a good time. And she wants them to all just pretend that they don't have husbands. I was like, oh, well, Simone, what you got planned? But Simone had on a cute little outfit because normally Simone clothes are horrible. But that night at the dinner table, I don't know what kind of little jacket thing she had on, but she looked very pretty. Her hair, her outfit, her makeup, Simone looked very good that night when they were eating dinner. Anila asked the ladies if they needed to take shots, and Jackie said yes, a penicillin. I was like, oh, Lord. And Heavenly looked up like she really wasn't feeling the dinner at all. She looked like she just wasn't engaged in anything they had going on. Now, later on in the scene, she said that she was actually tired that night. Simone said that syphilis is on a rise in Atlanta, and so Jackie looked over to Quad and said, so you better be careful. Quad said, no, ma'am, you're not going to do that with me today. You not. And the look that Quad gave Jackie, I think Jackie knew to shut that shit down. Now, Jackie could have just been playing and joking, but you don't joke around with somebody like that when it comes to something so serious, because when she said that, she almost made it seem like Quad is out there in the streets doing some of everything. And Quad was like, oh, no, ma'am, you're not going to do that. So I said, all right, Quad, get it together, girl. Now, Quad asked Jackie if someone made her jacket. And I thought the jacket was a little out of the norm for Jackie because it was a black, like a short cloak type jacket, and it had big gold dollar signs all over the jacket. And I was thinking, that don't look like something Jackie would normally wear, but it was a cute jacket, but I don't think it would be everybody's taste. And Quad told Jackie, you know, Jackie, you make your money, but you be quiet with it. You don't be loud. And I guess you were trying to say the jacket was loud because the dollar signs were maybe my hand size or a little bit smaller, and they were just strategically placed all over the jacket. So Heavenly said that she feels as if everyone at the table was successful. And Audra, who is the newbie to the group, she's an attorney, said that so When Heavenly said that she felt like everybody at the table was successful, Audra was like, "Are you sure about that? Because Toya said that I'm not a successful attorney." Toya said, "I was just playing." Audra said, "I don't play about my profession. I do not play." And so Toya kind of looked over there and said that I was just trying to get Audra to use her law degree. And Audra said, "Well, I'm trying to see if you can use your critical," I think she said critical thinking skills. She said, "And do you have any?" I say, "Oh, damn." So everyone was looking around and their face looked exactly like I said, "Oh, damn." But Jackie said very sternly, "No, we cannot go anywhere." Oh, I remember. Contessa asked if she could take her food in a doggy bag because it was time for them to go. And Jackie said no, very sternly. Talking about, "Contessa, we can't take you nowhere." So I have a question. Is it a problem with you taking your food home if you go out to eat and you don't eat it all? I can never eat a full meal when I go out, so I always take my food to go. But Jackie was like, no, almost as if them taking their food to go was beneath them. I thought that was strange. So anybody, when you're in my comments, let me know if you thought it was strange that Jackie told her, "No, we can't take you nowhere." That's almost to say like, "Ugh, you so uncouth." So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that's what Jackie was trying to say to Contessa when she was attempting to take her food to go? So the ladies went to a store called Pepper. In the store, it had a lot of different sex toys. They even had a little class. The class was being led by Edgar and Aisha, and they gave them a class on sexual toys. Well, Heavenly said that she feel like Jackie probably just got her own channel on Pornhub. She said, "Ooh, but I don't want to see it." Oh, I thought that was funny. Ooh, I thought that was funny. Well, they showed a little scene what Mason called Quad. And "Where have you been for the last 2 weeks?" She said, "Really, Mason, I just left yesterday." But I thought that was so cute that he was calling because he probably missed his aunt again. He's probably going through some separation issues that his dad has died. And it may or it may not come out where the mom is, but since Quad and her mom has him, he's probably dealing with some separation stuff. So that may be why he's calling her. But I'm telling y'all, Mason is still in the show this season. Actually, he was the only good part of the show. Mason was just a doll this particular show, this particular episode. So the ladies go out to brunch, and that's where all hell break loose. This was the only time the show got a little bit interesting. Everything just started going haywire when Simone brought up the fact that Heavenly, she pretty much said that Heavenly needs to kind of watch what she says and when she says it to her friends, and if the friends don't like it, be mindful of that. Honey, Heavenly jumped up out that chair and said, "Everybody at this table talk about everybody else. And I'm not going to bring up my husband. I'm not going to bring up my marriage because I'm not going to give y'all nothing to talk about." But Heavenly has said that from the very beginning. She always says that her marriage is not perfect, but it works for her and her husband. And she just has never given them anything to talk about. So Simone was like, "Oh, so you want to talk about our marriage, but you don't want to talk about your own." I want to say, Simone, you was on here talking about your marriage. Nobody would have known what you and Cecil had going on if you wouldn't have said it. So I was like, what the hell was that about? Let's see. And Contessa was at the end of the table hollering, "Words hurt, words hurt, words hurt." Yes, they do. But no one who brought the words to the table in the beginning. You did, Contessa, because you was talking about what's his name, Scott. I said I think they must have forgotten who brought all of their business to the forefront. And that's the same thing Heavenly was trying to get them to understand. I didn't bring none of this up. I only talked about what y'all had already talked about. Well, they wanted Heavenly to know it as a friend, don't talk about it. Contessa and the Heavenly got to arguing and fussing back and forth. Contessa walked up on Heavenly, but I was glad because Heavenly didn't back down. But Heavenly said, "You're not mad at me. You're mad at your husband, but you're just taking it out on everybody else. All of your anger is misplaced." And Contessa got the puffing all up in the chest and screaming and hollering and cussing. Heavenly was screaming and hollering and cussing. I say, Lord, have mercy. Well, Quad jumped up, tried to stand between them. Simone got up. Audra and Anila, everybody getting up to try to see if they can get everybody to calm down. But it was so funny because Toya was sitting there like, instead of eating her food, wanting her bacon. She was like, "Can I get some syrup?" I guess she say she was not going to get in a mess between Heavenly and Contessa because that's all it was a bunch of mess. So they all got to the point where they were separated. Heavenly was on one end, Contessa was on the other end. They hollering back and forth. And I say, Lord, I can only imagine what the people in the restaurant was thinking when these ladies came to brunch and act a complete donkey in the place. I say, you know what? Can't take y'all nowhere. Now that's what Jackie should have been saying that phrase. We can't take you nowhere when they cutting a food at the people restaurant. Heavenly went ahead and went inside the building with Anila and Audra. Contessa was still outside with the other ladies. And soon as Heavenly walked in, then Contessa gonna say, y'all, can we just pray? Now, after you then cussed up a storm and act a straight fool, Contessa, then she say, can we pray, y'all? I'm like, she can cut it on and off real quick. Well, it was funny because they kept having the camera on Toya, who continued to eat her breakfast. But did anybody recognize that Carrie was sitting at the table and was just looking like, she didn't move. She didn't say anything. I guess she say, I ain't finna get caught up in this bullshit they got going on. They ain't gonna have me on there acting a damn fool. And she was sitting there. And you know what? Before the episode was over, she finally had one sentence when they went on the zip line. And she finally had one thing to say. I say, Lord, this lady done been on 6 episodes and probably done said 20 words in 6 episodes. They get on the bus and they were getting ready to go to the next event that Simone had planned for them. And they wanted to go zip lining on Fremont. Well, they didn't want to go. That's what she had planned for them. They didn't want to leave Heavenly, or should I say Simone didn't want to leave Heavenly. So she called Heavenly's phone and Heavenly didn't answer. And so she told Jackie, will you please call Heavenly because we really don't want to leave her because this was a group trip. Simone called Heavenly again and she answered. And she said, yeah, I'm coming down. And in a confessional, Heavenly said that she wasn't going to not go and spend time with all the ladies just because of what was going on between her and Contessa. And she said because she came there to have a good time and that's what she planned to do. And then the next scene showed her, Audra, and Anila getting on the bus and headed over to Fremont Street. Well, if you've never been to Fremont Street, it is an experience in itself when you go to Vegas. There's a lot to do on Fremont Street, or you can just sit and observe the people, get you a cocktail and walk and look. But you can zip line on Fremont Street. So all of the ladies did that. While they were preparing to go across the zip line, Toya was saying that she was very apprehensive because she would not have total control while she was ziplining. And she said she has a problem with that. She said that she felt like she wanted to throw up. She was nervous. And as she was talking, it almost sounded like her voice was trembling a little bit as if she was going to cry. But she put her big girl panties on and she went across. And she was really excited. I was like, yay, Toya. I was excited because she kind of faced her fears. And she did the zip line and went across to the other side. And that's when you heard the one sentence from Carrie. And she was saying that she had a good time. It was great or something to that effect. And Anila was excited about doing it. You can tell Jackie wasn't scared. Heavenly wasn't scared. They went ahead and went across. And they kind of embraced Toya as they got on the other side. Because some of them didn't realize she was afraid. I think she was afraid of heights or something like that. The episode went off. So we'll see where it's going to pick up next week while the ladies are in Vegas. But again, this episode was kind of lackluster. It just didn't give too much. So we'll see what next week is going to bring. But this is G Butterfly, and talk to you guys later. If you're seeing me on TikTok, hey TikTokers. If you're on Facebook, give me a thumbs up and a comment. Tell me what you think about this week's episode of Married to Medicine. On YouTube, hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I come through with another video.